Now we're going to continue with that north-south chain of submissions. Last time we looked at the Kimura grip. That's really awesome, but let's look at one of the very common defenses that your opponent's going to have where they grab a hold of something. This can be really frustrating, especially when you don't have those extra tools in your bag. So today I'm going to give you an awesome tool, an A-game move for myself. Very easy, very dominating. Let's check it out. All right, so I'm in that north-south position, just like in the other video. We're going to set it up the same way. Head in, elbows through. I drop my hips out to the side. I'm pushing up. I open. I get control. If you want the finer points of that move right there, make sure to watch that last video on the Kimura, because I go over the importance of leading with the elbows and stuff. But you can see that John grabbed his own lapel here. This is very frustrating, especially when I want to rip off his arm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this hand. You can see that I'm putting active pressure with the back of my knuckles on his forearm, and I'm going to grab whatever I can over here, whether it's the belt, whether it's the lapel, or if the guy is really tight, you can grab a hold of the pants, all right? One of the things that you have to keep in mind here is you have some time to do this. You need a good grip because you're going to rely on this to maintain your position. And if you happen to grab the lapel and you keep it really tight, sometimes that can mess with the collar and it'll change up your submission on the other side. Not a bad thing to do, just it can lead to some problems other times. Most commonly when I see this move taught, I see it taught with the belt. I have seen it taught reaching into the belt right here, and although this is a very strong grip, there have been a couple of instances where I'm worried I'm going to break my wrist, okay? So just feed the belt this way. You can see it's palm up, not palm down. That is an important distinction. We want to keep good pressure on the back of this, and a lot of times they won't even feel the difference. This feels very common or very close to this, all right? Especially because I'm sitting on his face. He doesn't know what's going on. So now I'm going to transition off. When I transition off, this leg is going to come off, my other leg is going to go on, all right? Off, on. Now it looks like I'm disengaging there, and I am, but this grip right here is going to buy me a lot of control. As I'm making that transition, I'm going to bring this hand around, I'm going to go to this lapel. This is the time when they're going to figure out that this hand is trapped, because as my hand is going through here and he tries to bring that arm up to defend, he can't, all right? That's usually when they go, and that's when I get my hand in the collar. As you get better, one hand in the collar is enough, guys. You know, you've got to defend the grips, you've got to grip fight at all times. Now I need to transition. I'm in a good spot, but I'm not, you know, I haven't won yet. I must keep active pressure in with this elbow on the shoulder as I transition. I don't want him to get his head in that pocket. Transitioning is a little bit goofy here. I'm going to push off of my left foot, and my knee is going to stay heavy on the hip. It's important that I transfer all of my weight to the hip so that this leg, back here is very light. I am going to bring this knee to the inside, and I'm going to sit down. You can see that my shin is in the back of the neck. I've got a good bow and arrow grip. I'm going to push away with my core as I straighten my back, okay? When I straighten my back, what I'm doing is I'm using all of those core muscles and the bone support in my arm to finish this choke, as opposed to just pulling with this hand. It's not the same thing as stretching your whole back. Notice I never let go of this hand. If he wants to try and roll away, it's not an option. If he wants to turn towards me, it's not an option. You're going to learn to love this grip because it gives you a lot of outs. Let's say hypothetically, I can't get this. I can always straighten and start to pull him up into the little baby cradle position right here, always maintaining control of this. We've got a lot of options in here. This is super powerful, guys. Double over control, head in the middle, bottom up. Elbows through, drop the hips off the side, pushing up. I open that door, good control. This time, I'm going to grab that little lapel right there. It doesn't matter if it's a deep grip or not, as long as I keep that wrist rolled to keep pressure on it, all right? So from here, off, on, and you can see I stayed nice and tight this time. That's how it really happens, okay? Transferring weight, knee in the back of the shin, and I sit. Now remember, I'm not going to pull. I'm going to push with that shin and arch my back. Control, head in the middle, bottom up. Elbows through, I drop my hip, I turn. Control, I push him up on his side, I get control here, all right? He grabbed his thigh, awesome, doesn't matter. I feed that lapel, off and on. You can see I stayed nice and tight. That transition off and on is important. Off, on, hand to that collar. Transfer weight. You see how I did that? I pushed off the balls of my feet, and I'm nice and light. He can't turn away, he can't turn towards me, it doesn't matter. Knee in, I fall at a little bit of an angle. My arm is straight, I'm pushing with my core. Hypothetically, I don't finish this. I pull them up into that baby position, nice and tight. I never, ever, ever let go of this control. Head inside, head on the belly, bottom up, elbows through, drop my hips, change my angle, cut the corner, all the way up, control. Open my hand, feed. Now watch my legs. Off, on, nice and tight. Transfer weight, knee to the inside, I sit down. My core is straightening and I'm pushing away with my shin. That grip, that tie off, where I feed the belt to the hand, super, super, super powerful. And it's kind of sneaky, they don't see it coming. You can get a lot of good taps with this, both in class and in competition.